Hola muchachos, how's everyone doing? Happy Thursday. Let's get into the video. Before we do, real quick shout out to all the Patreon supporters for always supporting the channel. You guys are the absolute best. Reason why I can do this full time. You guys are seriously the best. Now let's get into it. So you can tell by the title of the video, some NASCAR 21 ignition, or even just the future of the NASCAR games, honestly. Because we're in January now, so I'm starting to talk about, you know, NASCAR 21 ignition heading into NASCAR 22, which, you know, it seems kind of crazy because this game just came out 2-3 months ago, but NASCAR 22 is probably not that far away. Hopefully aiming for a September or early October release date, because you don't want to release late in October again. But Motorsport Games, as you can see on your screen, has released a roadmap. Now, this is something that some game developers do. It's becoming more common in essentially live video games, you know, games with live services, and NASCAR 21 Ignition is not that, but it is a game that we all know had a, well, let's just be frank, terrible launch, absolutely abysmal. So the fact that they're even giving a roadmap in 2022 is good news. We'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. So let's look at this real quick. As you can see on your screen, we have January, February, and April. In January, you will have patch 1.4 with DLC 3, which is just essentially the paint schemes. That will add stages, and it will add private parties. It will also likely add some other minor fixes and stuff around there that they're just not saying, but most patches have, you know, a good amount of fixes or additions or whatever it may be. But the two main ones will be stages and will be private parties. The stages will be added in race now and career mode, and it will scale according to the race distance. So you don't have to do 100% race. For me, I'll be doing 25% races, and the stages will scale as it should. Just think about how it was and how it's supposed to be on NASCAR 8.5, and that's what NASCAR 21 Ignition will have. So that's good news. And then private parties, which is massive good news for me and for a lot of you guys as well. For me, I'd love to play with you guys in the community and host private races with people that I know that can race. I've not been able to do that, which is why there's been no videos and I haven't done it at all. But with private parties, that changes. So then I can actually do it. I can race online, make a private party, invite you guys, let you know when it's going to race, live stream it, upload it, whatever, and actually have decent races. If someone's, you know, not, you know, is just trolling or running really poorly, you could just get them out of there, and it just makes it a lot easier. This is big news for leagues as well. My biggest worry when this game launched, when I didn't see private lobbies, is that leagues essentially died. And I will admit, the racing on this game for like half the tracks is honestly pretty good, especially if you can get online. I think you could have a lot of fun on the road courses. Just think about making a road course only league and having fun with your friends there. I don't know exactly how Daytona and Talladega fare online, but you can have like super speedway races there and stuff like that. So that's good. You can have leagues come back, which has been gone for, you know, a long time, and not many people play this game anymore, which is why it was a massive disappointment to see it not at launch. Because if it was at launch, then people would start a league, they'd probably give the game more time. But because the private parties wasn't at launch, we're in January, guys, no one's really playing this game. I play this game for content purposes, you guys kind of watch for content purposes, but I'm telling you, nobody else plays this game. Like, probably less than 100 people. So yeah, that's very sad, to be honest. Then we go into February. So patch 1.45 or 1.4.5 is the next gen car test mode and a shaky cam toggle settings. And yes, they called it shaky cam in honor of, I don't know what to call it. What do you call it? Camera shake, shaky cam, whatever. But essentially, when you make contact with another car or the wall, the camera just goes insanely crazy, and I really hated that. So that's in patch 1.4.5. And then the next gen car test mode is the next gen car, which they're going to use, as you guys know, in real life, Motorsport Games is partnered with Live Fast Motorsports and BJ McLeod and the 78 car. So they're going to have that 78 car in a next gen car test, but it's only going to be at Daytona, so it's not going to be at the rest of the tracks. And I understand that reasoning. It's disappointing, but I understand the reasoning because NASCAR just announced a different package like 2 weeks ago. So I fully understand why Motorsport Games probably don't have the next gen car ready to go for, let's say, all tracks, because they would have to make a setup for all tracks, with a different horsepower package that they would have to program into the car or into the game. So I get why that's the case. And it's probably disappointing for you guys who want to take the next-gen car to a road course, the next-gen car to here or there. But it takes a while, especially since NASCAR made the changes relatively late in the off-season to say, hey, we have to, you know, change the horsepower and stuff. No more 550 horsepower. So a lot of things have to change. In NASCAR 22, that will obviously be there. That's not going to be a problem. But for this game, it's just going to be a next-gen car test mode, which they don't have to do, but they're doing, which is okay. It also won't feature any other cars because, again, then they would have to essentially do all the paint schemes, all the cars, all that stuff, get the AI racing right, and let's not do that because this game already has a ton of problems that they need to fix. Don't add even more issues to make it even worse. So don't do that, which is why I completely get it. And then nothing in March, apparently, and then you go to April, which is patch 1.5. You get a PS5 and an Xbox Series X upgrade. Essentially what this will be is probably just a little bit higher graphic fidelity and 60 frames per second, which is very nice. I already play it on PC, so I can promise you guys I played it on console and PC. Playing it at 60 frames per second is ideal. You don't want to play it at 30 frames. So the PS5 and the Xbox Series X upgrade is nice. And then that's pretty much it for the roadmap. And so there's positives and negatives. Let's touch on the positives. The positives is, you know, when the NASCAR Heat games were coming out year on year, you would get the game that released, you would get a patch or two that fixes certain things, and then you would get 3 DLCs, which were paint schemes that run through December, and then that was it. Once December hit, the game was dead. So like there was no more DLC, no more patches coming in, no more nothing. 704 Games always did it that way, so they released the game. To be fair to them, they released the game in a pretty good state. There wasn't a ton of bugs. It lacked features, but there wasn't a ton of bugs. It worked like it should. It was a okay to solid game. People can have fun on it, and move on to the next year. I give Motorsport Games credit. Even though they put themselves in this massive hole, let's not take it lightly. They lost trust in essentially everyone in the community, but they will be working on this game all the way through April of 2022, which is a big deal because, guys, this will be a yearly release, and when a game comes out in a yearly release, you always have to kind of patch it, upgrade, move on, and just move on to full development in 2022. So they're putting a lot of focus on this game, trying to make this game better, trying to make this game right. And it's really not even, honestly, in my opinion, about making the game right. What they need to do, which I don't think is going to happen until NASCAR 22 releases and we see what that state's like, what they need to do is gain trust back in the community, and you guys, and in me as well. I have a feeling, like I've been saying, this game has a lot of potential. The series has a lot of potential. I like the baseline of things, but there's a ton of... The game doesn't work. There's a ton of bugs, a ton of things missing. So obviously all this stuff has to get fixed. They're working on it. And the fact that they're working on it through April is a good sign. So no, I know, trust me, these guys get a ton of hate, which, to be honest, is warranted. let's be honest. But you have to give them credit where credit's due, that they are trying to fix the game and that they are trying to be transparent and open on it in order to make the game better. And at that point, we just have to see what they do for NASCAR 22, because that's going to be a huge game for them, where I'll make a separate video talking about NASCAR 22 somewhere down the line next month or something. But essentially, that game just has to release in as polished of a state as possible, even if it's missing some features. It just needs to work properly, have a lot more features added in, but nothing like what was launched in NASCAR 21, where it was annoying. And also, take out the ignition title. Let's just call it NASCAR 22. Just move on. Don't put like NASCAR 22 ignition or NASCAR 22 full fast fun, whatever the heck you want to call this nonsense. Don't do that. And then one more thing in their website is feature in progress for potential future update. And it's custom schemes online, which I've not seen since NASCAR 9. And this game actually does remind me a lot of NASCAR 9 in certain ways. But probably not, some good, some bad. So custom schemes online, take your paint booth, your best paint booth creations online and show them off in the online multiplayer. So that would be nice, because let's say we have private lobbies, you make a league, you can make custom schemes. But the interesting thing is this says feature in progress for a potential future update, which is labeled after April. So how long are they going to be working on this game is essentially what I'm saying. Are they going to just continue working on it even through the summer and trying to put different patches and things? At a certain point, I like this roadmap, and in my honest opinion, I like the roadmap. I like that they're working on the game. There's going to be 3 more patches confirmed. I like that. After the 3rd patch, you know, it's April. I would really like all development to go into the next game. Even maybe before that, like on March, I would like all development to go to the next game. I'm sure they are working on the next game already while trying to fix NASCAR 21 Ignition, but at a certain point, you know, you have to kind of take NASCAR 21 Ignition for what it is. It was a failure, a terrible launch. You kind of lost trust in your community, so you got to regain all that, build it back up, start from scratch again. Well, not necessarily, because you did start from scratch, but now you got to fix all the bugs, fix all that stuff, and make sure NASCAR 22 is fully ready to go. I don't want what I don't want is all focus to be on this game for the next, you know, 3 months, and then late development starts on NASCAR 22. It gets pushed back to late October again, and the red flags show up, because a NASCAR game should not be coming out in late October. A NASCAR game should be coming out in September, right around the playoffs when they start. If the next game comes out around that time, then that's a good sign, because that means they didn't have to delay it. Doesn't seem they're running into issues. That's just my opinion, but good on Motorsport Games for releasing the roadmap. Guys, what do you think of all of this? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm on, you know, I'm kind of level-headed nowadays. Like I as you guys know, I'm older and I don't freak out about video games and get ranty about them. So what do you think? They're working on it. They're trying to make it better, and we have to see what they do. And do you agree with what I think? I think the biggest thing they have to do is, it's not even like let's say stages and private parties and they work perfectly, whatever, which if they work perfectly, that'll be honestly pretty surprising to me. But if they do, the biggest thing that they have to do from now until NASCAR 22 is regain trust in the community. Do you guys agree with that? I think that's more important than anything. More important than putting a next-gen car in NASCAR 21. More important than, honestly, even adding a rear-view mirror, which in this patches, they don't include a rear-view mirror, which, guys, add a rear-view mirror. Please. I don't care how long, like how hard it is. Make the quality of the rear-view mirror terrible, pixelated. I don't care. Just add the rear-view mirror some way or another. But other than that, you know, I think trust in the community is probably the biggest thing they need to try to get back. And what would it take for you guys to trust them again? Which, to be fair, if I were you, and I am part of the community, I wouldn't fully trust them until NASCAR 22. See what NASCAR 22 is like. But I would say, you know, stop giving them a lot of hate. You're trying. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't really hate on anything anymore. So we'll see how it goes. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. All the links that you need to know about the channel are in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So we'll see if this all works. Peace out.